Here we are. We're in Las Vegas, Nevada again, but in the new 2020 version of Flight Simulator. So, what we're going to do is we're going to do the same flight we did last week. We are going to do a quick flyby of the Las Vegas Strip, and then we will fly all the way to Anaheim, California, where we will land in Orange County, and we will do a quick flyover of Disneyland, and we'll take a look at how vastly different the FSX version of Flight Simulator is to nowadays, and understand that Flight Simulator hasn't even gotten to the point where they've put in the finite details. These are just the AI recognizing and doing its best to reproduce these areas. So one of the first things that I want to note, I'm going to take a small pause right over the airport here. The airport is almost spot on, except for the fact that the ATC tower is in the wrong spot. It's not over here on the left. It should be on that hub. But, you know, the AI messed that one up. Oh well. Okay, let's zip right over to the Strip, and we will take a look at what we can actually see. Now, just in case, I tried to practice the names of all of the Las Vegas hotels that I could recognize through just this flyby. Now, obviously first, we're going to go past the Stratosphere, and when we get there, I'm going to try to say all of them while still keeping the video a little bit sped up. I'm going to turn off the visuals of the other aircraft right now, and we'll start flying through. Okay, so here we go. Starting with the Stratosphere, which is the really cool tall tower right there. Then, when I made a wrong turn and I almost ran straight into the Sahara Las Vegas, dodged over that, then pulled left to go past the Hilton, then the Sky Tower, then that one finished building that nobody knows what it is, Circus Circus, the construction right now that is Resorts World of Las Vegas. Then we pass the Encore at Wynn, Fashion Show Mall. Then we come up on Treasure Island, and we start to pass the Venetian Resort, which is bigger than I thought it was. Then we'll go past the Mirage, where you can see the volcano. Then Harrah's, Caesar's Palace, Link, the Flamingo, and then we get to Bailey's Paris and the Bellagio, Cosmopolitan, Alara by Hilton, Aria. Then we get to New York, which is straight across from the MGM Grand, the Tropicana, and then we see the Excalibur and the Luxor, ending off the Strip with Mandalay Bay. That was a stretch for me to do in one take, but I did it. I feel like I did a good job at it. So we're going to head off to California, and let's speed the video up again in 3, 2, 1, and go. Pew. Okay, so in the meantime, while we're going across the desert and everything, some of the details that are neat to see is, one, you can see right now the display that I have in front of me actually shows the ground and what's going on. I was fighting with the computer right here, and I couldn't figure out how to get the altitude to work for the guidance control. And so this was an interesting learning curve for me, because this was only my third flight in Flight Simulator since the game was released. But once I figured it out and we got up to an altitude where we wouldn't crash into mountains, I want you to notice the scenery and just how much more dynamic the mountains are. The mountains are so much better. I mean, if you were to go to Google Maps and look at the satellite views, and you would instantly recognize these areas. And it's kind of funny because you can even see where you have different eras of satellite data, because like right here, you can see, I slowed it down just for a second, there's like a darker picture just below us, and then a slightly lighter day when they took a different picture. It is just interesting to see that they did take satellite data right off of Bing Maps and spliced them together to make this the visuals that you can now experience and enjoy in flight simulators. And it is awesome to see that, like, the mountains actually are dynamic enough that you can fly down canyons and feel like you're actually putting the aircraft in danger and get that thrill of dodging canyons like you do see in several movies. I love how you can even see like trails and roads going up into the mountains, and it's not hokey pokey. It looks like it's actually there on the ground. And in all reality, that's what the picture shows from the satellite views. And as we cut out parts of the 1.5 hour trip, I wanted to show you little bits and pieces. You can see just how lush and green the mountains look, because they actually look that green in California when they're not on fire. And it is beautiful. As we've now made it to California, just so you know. We're descending down upon LA, and we're on the outskirts of LA, and it's actually understandable. You can recognize the different areas of LA and the actual landmarks that are going on, even though they haven't handcrafted any of this area. Well, much of this area, I'll say. It seems like there are a couple of buildings that are more unique, and they did a decent job at handcrafting them. So let's get closer to Disneyland, and I'll meet you there. Now, as we get closer to Disneyland, which is we're almost there, it's actually noticeable from a distance that we are near Disneyland. And the funny thing is like the AI drew up Disneyland almost entirely, but some of it, like, it seems like Disney California, they've started to work on with handcrafting it, because you can actually make out the roller coaster pretty well. Additionally, it's kind of funny that in the early stages of this flight sim, you're seeing a few extra trees in this area, and some of the trees are ginormous. But you can clearly make out Space Mountain, and you can see some of the places like the Matterhorn, and I'm trying to pan I'm learning how to pan the camera around, and you can see the big building that houses It's a Small World. It's just fascinating to see just all these little details that they actually managed to collect. And let's try to get over the castle, and there's the castle right there. And you could even see Thunder Mountain right there, which I just covered with the aircraft. There it goes. And look at that. This is where the AI kind of fails. It turned the merry-go-round into a tiny little mountain. And the castle, you can see, is not hand-drawn at all. It is little tiny peaks and mountains that the AI just figured out based off of how the pictures are from the satellite. Then we'll bank over, and you can see the soaring over California. You can see the now Incredicoaster, the what used to be the Tower of Terror, which is now Guardians of the Galaxy ride, which is really fun to ride. If you haven't gone to Disneyland California lately, or California Adventure lately, that is a good change to a ride. I very much agree with their idea to change it, even though Tower of Terror was really good. But you can see the Cozy Cones and the Cars ride right here in its glory. It's beautiful. It's not exact, but they got the Willie's Butte correct. I mean, come on. I think they did a good job. Let's do a nice tight fly over that. Whoosh. And then we'll continue on to the airport. Here we go. Let's get fast. So, all in all, like, I have done a few more flights since I made this video. For the fun of it, I flew up the river towards Hoover Dam, and much to my astonishment, Hoover Dam is not modeled at all, and the AI totally messed up Hoover Dam. It is a little bit of a fiasco, and I get it. The system is new, the program is very young. I hope that Microsoft is planning on doing things like updating these things. I think that they're going to go through and find landmarks, especially the big landmarks that are awesome to see, and make sure that they are spot on, picturesque, well done, and they're going to be very recognizable as this is where you're at. And right now, you have to take Flight Simulator with a grain of salt. Without, oh, I almost hit a plane. Wow, that guy came out of nowhere. So let's go park. But I give Flight Simulator 10 out of 10. This is very fun to fly. It's more difficult than the original Flight Simulator fly, but it is awesome. And that's all I got for you today. We'll see you next week. I'll have new stuff for you. Have a good day.